Hello everybody, it's Mike Paterson from White Turtle Adventures here in sunny southern Alberta, Canada. Welcome back to the van. So today I want to talk about something that's still touching on buying a van, and that is the difference between a used van and a new van, but from a different point of view. Now, I have nothing against a used van. I think I've said it before in my videos that there are good used vans out there, there are good deals, there's good things about them, so I have nothing against them. But you need to be prepared when you're buying a used van for the fact that you're buying a used van. If you're buying a van that has not got a warranty on it, you're going to have to be prepared to make those repairs and upgrades and so on and so forth from your own pocket. The reason I'm doing this video is because of a sad post I saw a few days ago of a lady who went out and bought a 1979 van. It was in overall really good condition. She got it home, she started packing it, she went and took it to the store, and on her way to the store, the engine blew on it. It was going to cost her several $1,000s to have this engine replaced. Now, she got a great deal on the van. Not lying. It was a great deal. The van overall was in really good shape. But with a blown engine, she's out of luck. The problem for her was she didn't have any money to rebuild the engine or to buy a new engine. So she was stuck, and her van life dreams were now either on hold or she was going to have to give them up altogether. I have not read lately about her, what she's decided, but it was sad. But you have to understand, when you're buying a used van, whether it's 5 years old and has no warranty, whether it's 10 years old, 20 years old, 40 years old, or whatever, you're buying a used van and you're buying a used van. Generally, you get what you pay for. If you get a smoking deal on a van, generally the person selling it knows that they're giving you a good deal, and there's probably a reason they're doing it for a low price. So be prepared. If you're buying a used van, please take somebody who is very mechanical and have them check it out before you take the first step on it. If they look it over and they say it looks good to them, then take it to a trustworthy mechanic and have them check it over. Before you do anything, have those two people that are competent look at your van. Have them look at it with eyes that aren't yours. Why? Because when you're looking at something and your dreams and your hopes are in it, you're going to see all the good stuff. You're going to see those days of waking up and looking out over the beautiful ocean or looking out into a beautiful forest, and you're not going to notice that the tire looks a little weird, or you're not going to notice that there's rust on it, or you're not going to notice all this stuff. So have the person look at it with an unbiased viewpoint. The next thing, once you've bought it or once you're prepared to buy it, understand you need money put away for the emergency repairs, for the upgrade, for all of that stuff. A little while ago, there was a post online about someone who went out and bought himself a used van. Overall, it looked really good. He took it home. He was living with his parents. His dad came home, looked over the van and said, "Son, before you take it anywhere, you need to put on new tires." That was 5 new tires, the 4 on the van and the spare tire. Well, his son didn't believe him. He packed up the van and he headed out for the first road trip. Halfway out to his first road trip, he had a blowout. The tires were so old on the van and so cracked, and the van hadn't been driven very long or very far or at all. And once he got it out on the road, the tires couldn't handle it and he had a blowout. Now, fortunately, it was one of those blowouts that he was easy to pull over the side of the road. It wasn't catastrophic. So for him, it was a learning issue. He still ended up having to buy new tires. But on top of buying the new tires, he also had a major tow bill to have the van towed from where he was back to his town to get the tires put on it. So consider these things before, when, and during you're buying a used van. The other thing I want to talk about, and this I do not understand, so I may be a little biased here, but I just don't understand it. People who are buying these old courier vans, these old work vans that have been driven to the ground, that are rusted out, that the engines are making weird noises and the transmissions are making weird noises, they're getting them for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 because they're old, they're rusted, they're in bad shape. And then they're building a beautiful inside in it. I don't understand this. Because your van is van life. The inside's not going anywhere if your van's broken down. So why are you spending all this money on the inside when the shell of the van is garbage? A post I saw last year, and it was actually quite an extensive post, of this young couple who went out and bought this courier van. It was a Sprinter, and it had issues. The first issues, and it's a Sprinter, no one issue, is it had a lot of body rust. Some of the spots where it was rusted out was actually fully rusted out, that you could actually see from the inside out. It was that rusted. When they pulled up the floor was rusted out. In fact, they had to take it to somebody and have them weld in a new floor on it because that's how damaged the floor was. They then, without fixing the outside of the van, the rust spots, just fixing the floor, they then went out and bought $20,000 worth of wood and material and then spent between the two of them over 1,000 hours building the inside of this van so that they could start van life. Now, the van cost them nothing. The inside of it cost them, $20,000, and then plus all of their time. If you figure that their time is worth, between the two of them, say $20 an hour, which is low, that's $20,000 in time, plus the $20,000 in the material for the inside, put into a shell that's already in serious issues. Now, when I saw their post, and I've been following it for quite a while, I saw their van when they first got it. I saw what they did inside, and they actually did a good job of scraping out the paint and stuff inside, getting the new floor in, but you could still see where there was holes in the wall and stuff. And they said, well, we'll do something with that later, which I do not understand why they didn't address it to begin with. They then built out the van, and then in January of this year, they put a post up that their van was for sale, that their direction in life had changed and they needed to sell the van. They listed the van for $80,000. Now, if it would have been a good van, the build inside of it was really well done. In fact, whoever built, the couple that built the inside of it did an amazing job. They just did a super job inside. It was well thought out. It had all the vanny touches, the roof rack, the solar panels, the fridge. It had a bathroom. It even had a shower in it. They had done an amazing job on the inside of it. I would say if it was put into a good van body, a new van body, that inside was worth the $80,000, plus the cost of the van, seeing what some of these new vans are going for. But it was in a junky van. The post came out, I saw it at $80,000. A few weeks later, it popped up again on my feed, and I saw it was down to $70,000. And then a few weeks later. The last time I saw the van, they had it up for sale for $10,000 or best offer. You can come and take out what you want out of it or do whatever you want it with it, but they needed to get rid of it. That's $20,000 to buy the van, or $20,000 to do the inside of the van, plus the cost of the van. And they were now trying to get rid of it for whatever they could get out of it. Why? Because the van was garbage. If they would have spent just a little bit more, they probably would have got the money out of it. If they would have stayed in van life, they would have been able to drive. They would have been able to enjoy it for years. But when they bought an old rusted out vehicle to start with already had problems, those problems just amplified themselves when they built the van. So is a new van that much better? Well, you still can have problems with a new van. I know people who have some newer vans. They have the Dodges, they have the Mercedes, they have the Fords, they have various different vans out there for the different models and such. And some of them have had some serious issues with them. But generally, you have less issues with the van. Now, with my van, currently I have 39,000 kilometers on my van, so it's hardly even broken in. I know tomorrow if I want to get out of van life that I could easily list this van for what I paid for it and for what I paid for materials inside of it, and I would probably be able to sell it. I probably wouldn't get my labor time out of it, but I'd probably be able to sell it as a camper van and get my money back out of it. But if I couldn't, I could at least gut the inside of it and still sell it as a cargo van and still make back a lot of the van expense in the cargo van. If you're buying an older van, you're not going to get that money back. These people who tell you that they're able to sell their 35-year-old van that was rusted out for all this money generally are not telling you the truth, because it's not that easy. So if you're looking for a van, take your time, look, check out the vans, check out the new, check out the used. Don't skimp, don't cut corners. Make sure before you buy you have a contingency fund of enough money to be able to do repairs and maintenance and upkeep, whether it's a new or used van, and then go from there. So until next time, get out there, enjoy Mother Nature. It's beautiful out here, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.